we're going to take a look at our worksheet that was sent out. And again, if you don't have this worksheet, that's okay. I will still give you the problems and everything like that. But we're going to kind of go in like a mixed up order, okay? So we're not going to necessarily go number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I actually want us to start off with number 3 first. So thumbs up if you see the 3 that I just wrote. Okay, so we have 6 7/8 minus 3 4/8. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys 1 minute. Okay, Bella, let's start off with you, sweetie. What should I do with the way that I have it written right now? What should I change right away to make it a little bit easier to see?
You should put the 3 and 4/8 under the 6 and 7/8.
Nice job. I'm gonna read in 4/8. Does this look better to you guys? Okay, Bella, I'm gonna stay with you for a second. Am I adding or am I subtracting?
You're subtracting
How do you know I'm subtracting?
because there's a subtracting sign.
Good job. There's a subtraction sign, okay? Please do not make the mistake of adding when it's asking you to subtract, or vice versa, right? If it is an addition sign, do not subtract. You need to make sure that you are double checking what are they asking you to do. And in this case, they're asking you to subtract. Nice job. Okay, who can raise their hand and tell me, what do I want to work with first, my fractions or my whole numbers? Raise your hand if you know. Dylan, what do I want to work with first?
You want to work with your fractions first.
Great job. Are these my 2 fractions I'm working with?
Yes.
Nice. Okay, Dylan, I'm going to stay with you for a little bit, okay? Are my denominators the same?
Yes.
What are my denominators?
8.
8. So since my denominators are the same, do I have to change anything or can I just subtract now?
You can just subtract your ones.
Well, I'm subtracting my
fractions.
Nice job, right? I can just subtract my fractions very easily. So, Dylan, what is 7/8 minus 4/8?
3/8.
Nice. 3/8. Thumbs up if you got this far. Okay, nice job. Thanks, Dylan. And who can raise their hand and tell me what is my next step now? I worked with my fractions. What am I going to work with next? Joelle, let me unmute you. Joelle, what is my next step?
You work with the ones place.
With my ones place. Nice job. If I have 6 ones, can I take 3 away?
Yes.
How many am I left with?
3.
Great job. Okay, I have my final answer. Are there any improper fractions I need to take care of? And my thumbs up if I'm good to go. Nice job. 6 7/8 minus 3 4/8 is 3 3/8. Okay, are there any questions on that? Let's work on number 5. So for those of you who do not have the worksheet, 5 is 9 1/3 plus 3 5/9. Okay, please solve. And I'm going to give you guys like 2 minutes to get started on this one, okay? First, think to yourselves, am I working with my fractions first or am I working with my whole numbers first? If I'm working with my fractions, are my denominators the same? We adding or subtracting?
Adding,
How do you know we are adding?
because there's an adding sign.
Thank you. Okay, please do not make this silly mistake and subtract when it's wanting you to add. Okay, this is an addition sign. It's different than what we had before that was a subtraction sign. But sometimes we're just going way too fast and we don't realize what it's really asking us to do. Okay, so take the time. Am I adding? Am I subtracting? So, Tanush, now that you've answered the first question correctly, second question, am I going to work with my fractions?
Fractions.
Thank you. I'm going to work with my fractions first, not my whole numbers, okay? He knew right away, work with your fractions first. But Tanush, what problem am I seeing with my fractions here?
That they don't have the same denominator.
They don't have the same denominator. So can I add them like this?
No.
No, I need to make them have the same denominator. Thank you, Tanush. Show me with your fingers, what denominator do you think we should use so they're both the same? Show me with your fingers, what denominator do you think we should use so that they are both the same? Okay, Josie, I see you are holding up a 9. Why do you say 9?
Because 3 times 3 is 9, and 1 times 9 is 9.
Thank you. Right? I can multiply 3 by 3 to get 9, and I can multiply 9 by 1 and I get 9, right? I'm able to have 9 the same denominator. And Josie, if I do the same thing to the bottom, do I have to do the same thing to the top?
Yeah,
So what is 5 times 1?
5.
Nice job. And up here, Josie, am I going to multiply this numerator by 1?
You're going to multiply it by 3
Oh, why 3?
because you multiplied your bottom number by 3, not 1.
Thank you, Josie. Just double checking. Okay. So, oh, sorry. Oh, no, we're good to go. Right? Showing up with you guys? We're good? Okay. So 1 times 3 gives me 3, of course. So now, if I look at my fractions first, because that's what Tanush told me to do, is look at my fractions first. Can I now add these two fractions together? Okay, Naria, what do I get? 3/9 plus 5/9. How many ninths total is that?
8/9.
Good job. 8/9. Amazing. Okay. Now I worked with my fractions. What is my next step? Frankie, what is my next step? I already did my fractions, so what do I need to work with now?
Now you have to add your whole numbers.
Good job. So, Frankie, what is 9 ones plus 3 ones?
12 ones.
Good job. 12 ones. So, I get my final answer as 12 and 9/8. Casey, am I good to go, or is there an improper fraction I need to change?
You're good to go.
Thank goodness. Okay, so we get 12 and 8/9. Any questions on number 5? Okay, thumbs up if you're feeling a little bit more confident with adding and subtracting mixed numbers. Okay, if you're still feeling a little iffy about it, we're going to keep practicing, okay? So make sure you're following along with us. Let's give it a go. I'm going to pick someone random, and you can pick what number you would like us to do. So, Leia, give me a number. Let me unmute you. Okay, Leia, give me a number 1 through 9.
4.
Let's do 4. So 4, we have let me see what we have for. We have 6 and 1/8 minus 3/8. Okay, take your time and remember our steps. And I also want to remind you, remember, if we don't have enough of the top number to subtract from the bottom number, we have to regroup. Let me unmute you. Emma, are we adding or are we subtracting?
Subtracting.
Good job. How did you know we are subtracting?
Because there's the symbol.
Yeah, it's a subtraction sign, right? It's not an addition sign. So we know that we are subtracting. Good job. Jalal. So second question for you then. What do we work first with? Our fractions or our whole numbers?
Fractions.
Fractions. So we have 1/8 and we want to take away 3/8. Okay, Jalal, before you help me out with this, I'm going to draw out what 1/8 looks like. So here I have my whole. How many pieces does it need to be broken up into?
8.
8, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? There's 8 pieces. How many are shaded in for 1/8?
1.
Nice job. Okay, so does everyone agree this is 1/8? Okay, if I have 1/8, can I take away 3/8? No, right? I do not have enough. If I have one pencil, right, I can't take 3 pencils away. I need to regroup and I need to make changes so that I can have enough to do. So Jalal, how do I do that?
So you have to borrow from the ones place.
Thank you. I have to borrow from the ones place. So if I take 1 1 away from my 6 ones, how many ones am I left with?
5.
Good job. Okay. And that 1 that I borrowed is going to come over here. But this is where it becomes a little bit tricky for us to see sometimes because we have to rewrite that 1 that we borrowed as a fraction. So raise your hand if you know. In this case, how would I write this 1 whole as a fraction? And remember, we're talking about, we're talking about eighths. So how would I write 1 whole as a fraction, but we're talking about eighths? Joelle, let me unmute you. How would I write that as a whole?
You would write plus and then 8.
Good job. Plus 8/8. Because remember, you guys, I want you to ignore my drawing right here, but if I had 8/8 filled up, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is the whole thing shaded?
Yeah.
Yeah, my whole is shaded. So this is equal to 1 whole or 8/8. So that's where we're getting this 8/8. Does that make sense? Okay, but we're adding that to the original 1/8 we had here. So how many eighths do I have total now? Naria, how many eighths do I have total?
9.
Good job. 9/8, which is improper, but that's okay because now we get to subtract. So if I have 9/8, can I now take 3 away? Am I able to do that? Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of head shaking. Let's look at it with my diagram. Let's take away, here we're going to take away this 1/8, the second 1/8, and my third 1/8. Okay, well, show me with your fingers, how many eighths do I now have left over? Nice job. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 eighths left over. Does everyone see how I worked with those fractions? Or actually how you all worked with those fractions? Okay, Josh, what is my next step now? I worked with my fractions. What can I work with now?
Your whole numbers.
Okay, I have 5. What does it want me to take away from 5?
Nothing.
Nothing. So what's 5 minus nothing?
5.
Good job. You see how we got that?
Yes.
Thank you, Josh. Okay, any questions on adding or subtracting fraction or mixed numbers?